Happy Monday, happy week, happy end of June. This year is flying by. Welcome to Toy Grinds Live. My name is Grindhead Jim. Welcome to the show. So, first of all, I want to say hi to everybody in chat. There's a bunch of you. I see Johnny Sorensen. I see Jimmy Salzberg checking in from work. Bill Wifta. Ian Sweeney. Ozzy Rules. Wilhelm Toy and Hobby says, "What's up, Buttercup?" Many things. Jason Garcia and Giraffe and Nolan Kieran Ball saying hello to just about everybody, which is always great. Largo's Lair as well. And I think that's everybody. I do. Okay, great. Great! So, right off the bat, I want to say that Wilhelm and Largo's Lair are going to be going live on a different channel, and I had the link up, and I've lost it. So, crap. Sorry about that. I will get it later, and so you guys can head over there and check it out after the show, which will be right after the show. So make sure we're checking them out and helping them out with their things. So I do have a couple pre-orders to go over. Not a bunch. We're talking like 5 or 6. Nothing crazy, and then we're just going to go right into the show. Okay? All right. So, without further ado, let's get into the previews. The pre-orders, the preview. Fun times. So this is a SH Figure Arts Spider-Man, which is the suit featured at the spoilers end of the last Spider-Man film, which is arguably the one in all the MCU films that is the closest to the original OG Spider costume that we know and love. I have not pre-ordered this. It is something that I'm on the fence about because I really, really connected with the scene where this was revealed. I was like, ooh, this has potential. So I'm kind of hoping that I may or may not get this, bottom line. But I really like the costume. SH Figure Arts does great stuff. There you go. It's definitely something I want to look at. And Paul Knapp Creations at 8 p.m. Eastern. Okay. Yes. I will get a link, though. I will get a link. I have it. I just gotta get it. Largo's not digging the shiny Spidey pants. Why are you not digging them? I'm curious. Like, what about them do you not like? Because I would imagine if Spider-Man pants were real, they'd be shiny. But I totally get it. Totally get it. Welcome to the show, TJC. Good to see ya. Silver Rock Spidey. Okay, all right, that's fair. That's fair. But yeah, I saw that. That was cool. Hiya Toys putting out an updated Godzilla from Godzilla vs. Kong. This is a 7.8-inch tall version of the figure. Hiya Toys does great stuff, and like to me, they're right smack in the middle between like the Playmates Bandai stuff and your SH Monster Art stuff. So they're more expensive than the average bear, but you are getting a lot of quality for that price, typically from what I have seen. Again, haven't pre-ordered this, but I'm thinking about it. Thinking about it. So, Ian, I was not saying the toy has potential, but the costume and where the character's going has potential. The toy looks fine. So, but I would agree. If I just thought the toy had potential, like, no, I'm not doing that. Boom, there you go. Paul Knapp Creations channel. There's the link right there for you. I'm going to go ahead and pin that for you folks so you guys know where to go at the end of the show. Did not mean for that to rhyme, but it did. Doing it, or do it. He says do it. Fair enough. He says the original is good. This one should be better. You talking about the Hiya Toys one? Yes, I agree. So, okay. Now we've got some Jada Toys Mega Man stuff. These are 1/12 scale, so there's a 4.5-inch figure. It's Mega Man. It looks really cool. He's got alternate heads. He's got a blast effect. It has an adjustable stand. Very posable. I mean, it's Jada Toys. It's Mega Man. If you like either one of those things, this is just knocks it right out of the park, in my opinion. So, again, this is not something I'd probably end up with, but it's really cool. And if I decided I want to start collecting video game figure toys, this would be one that's near the top of the list. I saw this print from Pyramid America. It's the famous quote from the Transformers, the animated film: "One shall rise, one shall fall." And I would be really behind this. Overall, I very much like the design of it. However, the renderings of the characters is just a hair off of their renditions in that movie. So for me, it's like this is probably a pass. Um, it's cool that it's pre-framed. It's a really neat piece, but the character renderings, I'm just like, I don't know. It's easier for me just to get like a re-rendering of any number of Transformers the movie posters and so forth. So, World Meta Cardboard just joined. Says, what I miss? Let's see. A shiny Spider-Man, a updated version of a Hiya Toys Godzilla, and a Mega Man. That's it. Why throw away your rife? Wow, I am just on a roll today, kids. I am on a roll today. I don't know what's wrong. I've had nothing to drink. I have eaten today. I don't know what's going on. No idea. But let's have fun. And this is what I'd like to talk about. This is kind of what spurned the whole idea of the show. Okay? So this is a Leader Optimus Prime as a Volvo truck, and he comes with the trailer. Okay? So the figure is 7 inches tall. Very close to Voyager class scale, actually. So because of that, I have pre-ordered this with my fingers crossed that the trailer will fit my Voyager class Optimus. I don't know how insane I am for thinking that. It's possible. It's probably going to be a little bit too big. It's probably going to be a little bit too big. But for $55, it's worth the risk. But I don't know. I don't know. Because as of last week, we were getting a core class Optimus with the trailer, which I've been thinking about getting a trailer. Aha! Boba Hicks, my man with the master plan, says that's the same trailer that comes with Earthrise Optimus. It's perfect. Boom, boom, boom. Now I'm really excited to get this because $55 for the trailer is not a bad deal considering how much the original version with the trailer in that scale tends to go for. So for me, this is a slam frickin' dunk to have a working trailer that would function with my Optimus Prime. So, awesome. So this is an example of when an updated / reissue or a variant can really serve you in the market. So, drive safe, World Meta Cardboard. Drive safe, my friend. Yes, a Volvo truck. Okay. And Johnny says, Jim's high on toy fumes. We'll wait for Combat Hero redeco of that Prime. There you go. There you go. Now, my last one. Because I realized that I dropped a big bombshell last week. And saying no more overpriced statues. But here is one because I love you. Alright, here's one because I love you. And it basically, this is something I looked at. I saw the picture of it. And I thought, that's freaking cool. Then I opened it up, and I'm like, $4,000? Now, this is a 22-inch statue. 22 by 25 inches. So, it's big. It's really big. And this is the ultimate version. I'm guessing there's, not ultimate versions that are less. But I gotta say, if it were 10% of the price, I would consider it. It's just cool. But for $4,000, that thing better take off its cowl and slip down my bat pole if you get my drift. There's no way. There's no way. No, not doing that. Not going there. Not going there. Ricky's here. Hey-o! That's right. That's right. That's right. Exactly. It's one of those things where it's a great looking piece that actually has something to, like, it's a complete piece that makes sense to me. But for that price, there's no way. It comes with the only happy ending it comes with is the fact that your bank account is now empty. If you like being broke, it's insane, right? So again, I'm only going to show things that I'm interested in, not necessarily that I'm getting. So, and Kieran Ball, that's just stupid. I agree. I agree. So, I'm really happy to have shown that Optimus Prime because now I know I'm going to have that trailer, which I'm very excited. I'm very much looking forward to taking out the box, taking the trailer out, putting the box back together, and whoosh, storing that. So if anyone ever wants the front of it, I'll be like, here, you can have it. I'm happy. So, insane in the membrane is right. Exactly. Ian Sweeney, what we're all thinking. I'd be interested in that statue as a present, so would I. But not from anyone that I know that needs the money. Like, some rich person would have to get it for me that I didn't know. Because I would spend a few minutes being like, wow, this is amazing, thank you. And then I would just be like, why would you spend $4,000 on a statue? He doesn't even blink. Stupid. I mean, yeah, if Bruce Wayne gave it to me, that'd be perfect, right? I mean, that's how it's supposed to go, isn't it? Right? Johnny says, Skeletor sits on a throne. Batman has a workstation. Exactly. And that's kind of why I like it, because it'd be kind of cool, you know, when we buy a house, you know, there would be a dedicated office, right? So in my house, when we've decided we're probably going to build rather than buying a pre-existing one and like fixing it up. I do think that the toy display we're going to have in my office will be of the nicer toys, right? So Mezco Spidey over there, and you know my Black Series Star Wars stuff, and you know anything that's like a limited number of things that I have for it that are a bit bigger. Would kind of go in there. Like my Masterverse would go in there, stuff like that. And it'd be kind of cool to like center it on some kind of a big diorama piece or a big statue. That would be kind of fun. But then in the workshop, wow, what is wrong with me today? In the workshop, you know, display area, there would be like all the toys on display there otherwise. But that way I could focus like when I'm just working, like working, and doing most of my videos, it'd be in here or in the office, as it were. So a statue like that would be really cool for an office like that. But not at that price. Like, there's just no way, dude. There's no way. No way at all. So Will would apparently rather chug a Clamato out of a tiger's butthole than spend that on any statue. I agree. And Gojatron was more than happy to approve that comment. I would have as well. I would have as well. It's very good stuff. So, one other thing before we get into the topic proper. I do have one pickup from last week. We have yet to get to the mailroom this week. We actually have to go up there to mail something in the next couple days, so we have no excuses. We're going to go to the mailbox. So, it'll be good. But I got me an Infinity Saga Obadiah Stane and Ironmonger from the first Iron Man film. This thing is starting to climb in price, and we were watching all the MCU movies in chronological order, and when we watched Iron Man, I thought about it, and then by the time we got to Iron Man 2, I was like, I gotta get this. Because again, this is only getting harder to find, even though it's in ready supply, but the harder to find at a decent price. Paid more than I would have liked for it. The original retail was 65 or 70, I think, which I think was worth it then, given how big the Ironmonger is and how well detailed Obadiah is. They have some great things with it. I did pay above retail, not a ton, but given its age and relative availability, I thought the price would kind of go down, and it hasn't. So if you don't have this and you want it, you probably should start getting it now because it's going to shoot up. Because this is 2 years old based on the copyright, and they're not going to make these again, I don't think. Now, would they maybe reissue this and then make me go, oh, you know? I doubt it because these characters appeared in one film, and this is MCU. I really doubt we're going to see a reissue of these. But very cool stuff. Really stoked to have it in the old collection there. And I am going to try and... because it made me think, like, I want to, when I'm displaying the MCU figures, I kind of want, not group them by movie, but kind of group them by portions of the franchise, so to speak. So I'm not sure how that's going to go yet, and there's a few other figures that I'm missing. Like, I still need an Infinity Saga Thanos, and there's a set that is out there that has, you know, I already have a Maw, but it has Thanos, the Maw, and a couple other of his henchmen, like a 5-pack, and you're lucky to get that thing for $200. And I ain't spending that on that. No one says the only Marvel I'm really wanting is the Captain America with the 1940s bike. I got that late last year, mid to late last year, at the behest of Largo, actually. I think he had mentioned that it was on sale at the time, and I got it for a really good price. Big Bad gets it in and out sometimes. But I do have that, and it is a very nice set. It's very well worth it. Yeah, you could make a Lebowski figure out of that if you wanted to. Wouldn't be that hard. Zazel is here. Sergeant Slaughterhouse. Good to see you, brother. Saw lots of pictures and heard a lot of good things about you over the whole Joe Fest US visit. Sorry I wasn't there to see you, but man, it was cool to see you on American soil. We hope to see you again, and maybe this time you and I can hang out and blow the froth off a couple, okay? Good to see you, brother. I love Jeff Bridges, that movie. There you go, there you go. But yeah, that's my one pickup that I have for the week, which I should have more. They're not here because we've been busy. Good busy, but, you know, busy. So today's show is about, you know, reissues, updates, reimaginings, variants, whatever you want to call it. In other words, the same toy or something very similar that comes out again in one form or the other. Okay? So I'm going to start out with reissues. Now, we're not just covering toys here. This is collectibles in general. But I want to start with toys and expand the conversation as we go. Okay? So this is a really good example of a full-blown one-to-one reissue. Hasbro did these a year or two ago. And this is, of course, the real Ghostbusters. This is Egon Spengler. And it looks exactly like it did back in the day. They did a great job with the reissue. Put it on some really nice, thick cardback. Even the cross-sell looks pretty much identical with the, you know, obviously there's some other stuff down here that's different. But overall, it's perfect. Now, they've upgraded the materials to modern standards. The proton beams aren't nearly as brittle, so it's an overall improvement of the original figure, and it was easy to get these at retail more or less, and they abandoned the line pretty quick, so these were cheap, and I'm grateful to have it. I think it's one of the best examples of taking an old toy, upgrading the things that need upgrading without going crazy, and then putting it on the market. So, and Kieran Ball, coming right out of the gate, says, that's what used to be called a fake. Well, it could be detected as not real because it has a Hasbro logo on the back. So, is it, and that's one of the questions I want to ask. Are these reproductions, or are they reissues? Like, everyone's got a different opinion on this, and my opinion is very, very simple. I want the toys I want. I'm going to get them. I will never, ever, ever try to purport any toys I have to be original if they're not. There are people that do that. I don't do that. And that goes for everything. Did someone say repaints? I mean, that would be considered a variant, you bet. So we're talking about my current collection, basically. Yes. Yes, as a matter of fact, only your collection, Carl. Only yours. No one said they did amazing with the Ghostbusters. I agree. I think it's a slam dunk. You know, we got the Ecto one up there. You can't see it, but he's right there. To go with my vintage Firehouse, which you'll be seeing a restoration video on that very soon. But it's one of these things where it was exactly what it needed to be. I think the problem with that particular line ran into was that it was spurned by the Ghostbusters Afterlife, and there was so much Ghostbusters stuff out there, and you had movie accurate ones for both the original film and the new one on top of these reissues. Now, me personally, I wanted the reissues, and there's a part of me that does want movie accurate Ghostbusters, but I don't need movie accurate Ghostbusters, even though it would be nice. Those are a nice to have. For me, these were like kind of a grail piece when I was a kid. I never got the original Ghostbusters. I only had access to the second wave, which had all the wacky action features and stuff, which I liked, but I just wanted the regular Ghostbusters and the jumpsuits, and you just couldn't get them. So that's an example of how it's done right. And some of you will agree with me that, for the most part, these are not done right. Okay, these are the Adventures of Indiana Jones, retro figure redos. Now, as a concept by itself, I love the idea of these very, very much. And yes, I've collected everything that was in the original Raiders line, which is all I really, quote, need, unquote, okay? I never had these as a kid. Could never see them, didn't even know they existed until 1985. But the sculpts are very soft. The card backs are crap. The cross cell and everything on the back is just a mishmash of junk. But they do display nicely in the packaging, which is what I bought them for. But I have no desire to get every single character in the line in this scale. Okay, I am all in on the 6-inch, which has different problems. That's a whole other thing. And there's a couple characters, like a handful of characters I would get in this scale to display. But this is not a one-to-one. It's an attempt at a one-to-one that does not get it right. Not enough love and care was shown. It's a cash grab, and a pretty slimy one at that, to be perfectly honest. But because I never had access to these as a kid, and I have the ability to get these now, it was something I wasn't willing to pass up. So I have them, and I'm happy with them for what they are, even though I know they have a lot more potential than they actually realized. I think that while these were a good idea and would sell well, I would have preferred to go the route of going full vintage collection style with the articulation and sculpt quality. I think those would be even better in this particular scale. That's me. That's how I feel. I think 1/24 scale, vintage collection style stuff, that's really where that scale needs to be going for just about everybody. Even Final Faction, which are $1.25 a figures, arguably have better sculpts than the reissues of these. And the excuse being, well, back in the day, the sculpts weren't that good. I'm like, well, I get that. But, Wilbur Hicks says, nice from afar, but far from nice. Exactly. Again, that's why these things are going on a peg, and they're staying on the peg. They're just for show. There's no reason to depackage these and get them out. In fact, the only reason I even have 1D package is because the packaging I got my first one in was crushed pretty bad. And this is, it's embarrassing to look at. His head looks like an N64 digital rendering from like GoldenEye or something. It just doesn't look right. And it's just not my Alexa is trying to tell me something. But oh, stop.
Can you say that again?
No, I cannot. Shut up. Sorry. Put that on Do Not Disturb. But the idea was there, and the intent was there, but it just didn't work. It didn't work. Kieran Ball says that neither the retro nor the 6-inch indie figures have impressed me, so I'm spending money on something else. And that's the point. You spend your money where you want to, right? And Ricky said, I think that looks better than N64. I'm like, depending on who you talk to. Depending on who you talk to. All right. Ian says, that's a figure that has the gap between your neck and torso. Yeah, if you look really close, you can see it. There's a really, like, the neck is too fat for the torso, so it makes it, you see the shadow underneath it. Yeah. So, there you go. But that's, the two most basic examples that I can think of when it comes to these reissues. Okay, so that's a reissue, full blown, meant to be, directly related to something else. Now, kind of a revamp, okay, would be the Superpowers toys, at least the first wave. All right, this is not a reissue. This style of Batman didn't exist, not in the comics or the line at the time that toy line was out, but they were clearly trying to revamp some stuff, give you more variants, okay, in the series to start off, and you've got a cross sell on the ID card. Like, they really nailed the packaging on this. This is far from being my favorite Batman figure in the scale. We didn't know if we were getting more, and we did just get a new one in the Detective Batman, which is basically the exact same Batman mold, or darn close to the same mold, as the original Superpowers Batman, but this part of his cowl is black, more like the Super Friends, or like your Neil Adams kind of a thing, which is amazing, and I would argue is superior to the original Superpowers Batman. So depending on who you talk to, Wilhelm says, I wish they were the same scale as the originals. They're close enough, but I agree. Certain figures will mix and match, some won't. Like Batman and Superman in particular they don't quite work. Kira Ball says, no offense, the original 3.75 Marion is pretty rough to look at too. Fair enough. So, with Superpowers, they're revitalizing the brand, they're revitalizing the line, they're bringing more modern versions of the characters to that line. So you can get started with it right away, and you can use it to fill in gaps. Because like the vehicles, I have a visible jet on the way, which is my most sought after Superpowers vehicle. It's something that should always have been in the line, and they made one, and it scales, and I can't wait to put it with my other ones, because as soon as that happens, it's going to be really hard for me not to want to get the display going with the Superpowers, because they are going right there, because it's important. But it's something where it's not a direct one-to-one. It does bring back that nostalgia. You can mix and match it with the old line for the most part, especially with the vehicles, which I think is really important. It's affordable and does something that no one else is doing right now, really. So it's really cool stuff, and I like to see that continue. And my fingers are crossed that we get reissues of harder to find characters from the original line, like a Plastic Man and a Cyborg. If we got those, I'm buying like 3 of each of those. keep one in storage, one on the peg, one loose to go with my old characters, and I'm done with vintage stuff for the most part at that point when it comes to superpowers. Because I really think that's a smart move. And they don't need to be one-to-one replicas. They just need to be decent versions of those characters in that scale. I'd be happy. Be happy. I will not say that ninjas could beat Batman because that's simply not true. Carl with a very good point says, fuck accessories. Todd McFarlane, 2023. Exactly. That's the one thing that they're missing on this. I agree. No accessories. Now, this particular figure, you know, they have problems with capes and certain ones, things like that. But I'm saying overall, that's where things are. Steven has a feeling I'm going to whip out some Turtles reissues. I'm not, but I will discuss the Turtle Van, which is in camera view. So that one also is pretty much a one-to-one replica of the original Turtle Van. There is some decal placement that is in the factory that does make it distinguishable from the original. Plus, when the seat opens, you have metal reinforcement bolts on that arm for the seat, so it doesn't have some of the same failure points as the old one does. I love that. I think there's nothing wrong with that thing at all. I really enjoy it. And although I would have loved to have seen some improvements made to some of the functionality, it is what it is, and I adore it, and I'm grateful to have it in here. So these are, you know, again, reissues, variants, you know, reinvigorating the brand. Now, sometimes you'll get into things where you have full-blown repaints, right? So a great example of this that we talked about recently with the Patreon chats, and my patrons and I, we hang out close to once a week, or just DMs and stuff. And the core class Transformers are going hard on the repaints, right? So you've got like two versions of Soundwave, you've got two versions of Optimus Prime, Optimus and Nemesis Prime, and of course you've got all your flyers and whatever. But they go absolutely crazy with any version of the characters. So, like we recently discussed that they have all the Dinobots coming out, including the additional one that wasn't a US release that makes them a combiner, which gives rise to them doing the Japanese version that is a combiner, and there's a whole thing. There's a lot of potential there, and they're just going full tilt with it, right? And those are definitely variants. So I think some people, when they're collecting, they're going after different things, right? I go after the entire core line except for Beast Wars stuff. I'm just not a Beast Wars guy. It's the only Beast Wars and like Michael Bay shit. If it's, you know, everything else is pretty much Studio Series original, and I absolutely adore it. I don't care if they're repaints. I want all of them because they're just cool. But they're just not shying away from it. Then you got G.I. Joe Classifieds, where last year, like, here's Bazooka. Like, that's not Bazooka. It's Tiger Force Bazooka. Give me Bazooka, who is coming out this year. And the strategy, of course, that we've discussed in the past, is that they're going to put out the Tiger Force one because we want the character, and people that have no patience will buy that and then see the new one come out. Well, I guess I got to get him too. So there's some willpower in there. There's the tugs at the completionist strings, depending on who you are. It's kind of crazy. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, the new Turtles Playmate stuff is pretty cool. I've looked at it. I got eyes on those Turtles plushes that came out that go along with the new Turtle stuff. I don't like it, and I canceled the order. Ian says, I opened a couple figures today. One vintage collection, one retro collection. Vintage collection, while stunningly detailed and articulated, feels a little fragile. The retro collection felt like a toy. And Wilhelm has noticed that as well. Okay. There you go. Boba Hicks is using the parts from the reissued Ninja Party wagon to fix up his vintage one. That's very smart. Very smart. Yeah, the amount of turtle stuff that's out there right now probably is the reason for climate change. I'll be honest. It's good stuff. So Steven asked what I think of NECA reimaginings of the Kenner, Predator, Aliens, Predators in the 90s. I think it's a cool idea, being not a huge NECA fan, it's difficult for me to say these are great. I know that their quality, by and large, is tending to get a little bit better by most accounts of people that I talk to that I trust. It's just really hard for me to pull the trigger on any of it, but I love the idea of this stuff. I also really liked the Aliens versus Predator video game figures they did. I think they have a lot of great concepts. But again, it's NECA. You know, if Jada Toys was doing it, all day, every day. But wait, shoot the repaints directly into my veins, basically. And then Jim was mauled by a transforming enemy tiger for sliding the beasts. I mean, you're not wrong. Bill Wifta, welcome, says, I recollect a Grindhead that said he wasn't going to collect Transformers. I wasn't, and then someone, Gojatron, sent me core class Optimus Prime and Megatron, and it was just a matter of time, man. It was just a matter of time. Just a matter of time. Yeah, it was you. Yeah, it was totally you. 100%. Totally. And you can take that to the bank. There's video evidence of it on this channel right now. So, it's good stuff. And yes, the Jada Mega Man toys look really good. We were just looking at those earlier. So, to move on in our discussion. Reissues, variants, you know, reduxes. They're not just for toys. No ma'am, no sir. They're also done heavily in other forms of media. I'll start with film. This is the simplest version I can think of. Movies. Okay? Now, the cover is exactly the same. Back cover is not, because the features are different in terms of how it's put together. That said, in terms of the information and content on these discs, there's zero difference, except that one of these discs is a 4K Blu-ray. That's it. So you're basically getting this Blu-ray in this box, plus a 4K version of the same Blu-ray and the same digital code. So there's no reason to have these two copies of this movie, okay? And that's an example of doing it right. But there's plenty of examples on my shelf where I have a DVD release from earlier in the century, which I love saying, by the way, that has a ton of special features that don't make it onto the Blu-ray or the 4K re-release, or the Blu-ray release that has the best transfer or what have you. There are some places like Arrow and Shout Factory that really try to get all the features put together into one volume so you're buying your definitive copy of something. But they're not magicians. They can't always make everything happen. So you've got to be careful with this stuff. It isn't just a matter of upgrading there, especially if you're into things like commentaries and special features behind the scenes. Some folks aren't into that, and if you're not, hey, that's fine. That's okay. But I am. It's like the number one reason I buy physical media in the first place is the special features. And then, of course, there's the preservation and not having to have an internet connection and not have to pay anybody else. And there's the preservation aspect of it, in as much as you can't change the version of the movie I have on the disc once I have it. Disney Plus, Amazon, Netflix, they've all been found guilty of tampering with footage of stuff. Like, we're watching the MCU in chronological order. There are partially deleted scenes that I know are making it into these versions of these films, which, in that context, I like, because it makes the movie a little bit longer, fleshes out the story a little bit, and I love it. But most of the time, they're censoring something, and I don't like that at all. So, you really have to... You've got to know what you're after. So, you know, I collect the toys. I collect the movies. I also collect music, which we're going to go into in a minute. And there's just some things that preserve something physically in a moment that streaming will never replace, that a digital copy will never really replace. It's kind of crazy. Bjorn, there are some movies I've bought over a dozen times. I'm not even joking. Wilhelm says, I hate when they do that. Yeah, exactly. Gotratron grew up watching UHF stations on a portable black and white TV with rabbit ears. VHS was a revelation. Don't need 4K. I mean, I was the same way. to a certain degree. And I still have some VHS. I'm all about that 4K because the older I get, the worse my eyesight gets. So the clearer the picture needs to be, so I don't think my eyes are going bad. Wilhelm says the DVD Total Recall had the Arnold commentary, and they took it out on the Blu-ray. The commentary is a treasure. Yes, I have the DVD version, and I have the Blu-ray and the 4K. I have them all. Same goes for Conan the Barbarian, with the commentary on that. That's a treasure. Bobek says a lot of good DVD special features were lost in Blu-ray transition. That's why I'll never get rid of my DVD collection. Yeah, I always double check the features, and if the features if there's parity, I have no qualms getting rid of them. But that's a thing. Jason Garcia says the best extra feature I've ever seen on a movie aside from all the Lord of the Rings stuff is Shaun of the Dead. Yes, the original Shaun of the Dead Collector's Edition had some crazy good special features. Yes, Largo, physical media is the last bastion of cinephile security. I agree. Ian Sweeney have 5 different releases of a single film on DVD Blu-ray. That's for the purposes of a display of theme media, including books, CDs. So, hey, that's still a good reason. Still a good reason. Of course, a streaming movie isn't the same as having a physical movie in your hands. Correct. But I do think there's a place for streaming movies. You know, if I know that the version I'm watching is the same version that's on the disc, I can still watch it streaming if you know, it's easier. But knowing I always have that disc is the best. You know, when our internet has gone out like maybe twice since we've been here, and one time it went out for like some maintenance for a couple hours, so we picked up a disc and just started watching it. It's a great reason. It's a great reason. Karen Ball says, also worth noting that due to copyright issues, DVD releases sometimes have more special features than Blu-ray and vice versa. Exactly. That's what I meant by Shout and Arrow aren't necessarily magicians because they can't fix everything with copyright. You're right. There's a lot of us in our age group, Steven, that are into that. And some people just don't care. And that's fine. Like, you don't have to. But I think it's important that someone have that stuff. It's a whole thing. Goji says, well, it's slightly different because you can't watch it if it's in your hands. He's right. He is, of course, right. Wilhelm says, also streaming services will change the music as well sometimes. Physical copies always have it the way I remember. Exactly. So, moving on to music, and a lot of the stuff is going to be similar. But I also want to discuss ways that they're not always a good thing. Okay? So, I'll start off with Napalm Death, one of my favorite bands. However, we're going to start with my least favorite Napalm Death album. Metalheads watching will be like, what? How is this not your favorite? This came out in 1990. It's called Harmony Corruption. It is, this is a CD that came out, was meant to kind of make them go a little mainstream, and the label dropped the ball and didn't do a great job and kind of screwed them up a little bit. And they didn't get the kind of response they should have had. This is my original copy of the original 1990 pressing. Okay? Alright? Got a couple smudges here and there. It's seen some days, right? And I don't really like this album that much. The songwriting is great, but the production is crap. Sounds like someone stuck a microphone under a pillow, which itself is underneath moving blankets, and they recorded the whole album that way. I think it's shitty. I don't know. And I guarantee it's because the owner of the label was there and he was thinking something. Now, they did a reissue of it a couple years back, and where they did a wider dynamic range on the entire mix, makes all the songs sound a lot better. It doesn't fix some of the tempo problems that I have with the record, but it does sound a hell of a lot better. And for that reason, having this is great. So, for me, the packaging of this doesn't really matter because I just want the music. But they did it in what's called a digipack, where it's just a cardboard thing. And if you are ever in a position to issue a CD in any way, shape, or form for any purpose whatsoever, whether it's music or not, don't ever do this. This is the worst possible packaging for CDs. Same goes for digipacks in DVD form, where it's just the cardboard and it snaps. Never ever do this. The booklet is mostly the same. It's the exact same inside, but the printing is better. They use the same font, so they've recreated it pretty well. And with all the bonus stuff on here, so you have not only the remastered tracks, which is the only reason I bought it, but it has a whole live show, which is really cool. And, it's a decent price. They would have knocked it out of the park had this been in a regular CD case. I know that seems petty, but that exists. So it's what's funny to me is that it's a superior sonic version of the album, more tracks with better mastering, but the packaging is just kind of crap by comparison. I don't get it. If you're gonna redo it, do it better. I have more examples of this, but I'll come back to this. For the memory of a lifetime, recall, recall, recall. You know that place? Recall, recall, recall. Ever heard of it? Yeah. You guys are having a great conversation over here. Zazel says, I miss great commentary plus behind the scenes stuff. I remember finding Easter eggs on DVDs. Yes, in fact, when we did a DVD for the band, I made sure to put 3 Easter eggs on it. Hit the like button! Exactly. There you go. Absolutely. And they're still out there, the Easter eggs. You blabbed, Quaid. You blabbed about Maz. Yeah, exactly. So, all right. Ozzy's probably going to be the only one that really gets a little triggered by this. But I'm going to talk about my band. My old band, Cardiac Arrest. This is the last record that I appeared on them with. It was on our old label with Ibex Moon. And the packaging is top notch. Sly always did a great job with his packaging. The booklet is just beautiful. And because I left the band at this point, I'm not very prominently featured in here. I don't blame them for that at all. I am mentioned. I get credit and everything. But, because they were introducing a new member and stuff, I didn't care about any of that stuff. But the packaging and issue of this is really good. Now, we have a reissued version of this. I couldn't find it before the show. But it's in another digipack again. I don't understand why. But it's sounds good. They didn't change anything too drastic on it. But it is for people that couldn't get a hold of it before, right? And for that album, that makes sense. That's really all there was to it. It was the songs and the artwork, and that was that. But it's a digipack, so marks off for that. Yes, that is Vortex of Violence. Vortex of Violence. Now this is my favorite Cardiac record, Haven for the Insane. It's our third one. This is a reissue. Comes with a slipcase, which I kind of dig. It's got new artwork, new fonts, goes out of its way to make sure this is not the same issue. So, no problems with that. They changed all the liner art inside, and there's hardly anything in here. Now, the fact of the matter is that they were issuing it on vinyl, so the CD is bare bones by comparison. And I think the same thing was happening with Vortex, okay? Now, one thing that makes no sense to me. The original had artwork on the inside of the jewel case. Now, this isn't a white jewel case tray. It's a clear one. I don't see any reason that it should look like this. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Also, and this is a real nitpick for me because I worked so hard on it, the original CD came with a DVD. It has not been made available anywhere else since the initial pressing of the CD. I could put it up on YouTube anytime someone asks me to do it. I have all the digital files, it wouldn't be a problem. But I'm not going to do it without their express permission. It's not just my material, it's theirs too. Why they have not reissued it, even just as a standalone DVD, I don't understand. And this is not a criticism of Cardiac or anyone involved with it or any of the labels that put it out. I'm just confused by that. As a fan, I would be confused by that. So when you see these media re-released without certain things, sometimes there's a good reason for it. Sometimes there isn't. Sometimes they just didn't think about it, right? Um, but just because you want to get a copy of that thing, right, it doesn't always going to mean that you're going to get the best version of it. Sometimes you're going to get something that's substandard. Sometimes you're. I just dropped Egon. I can't go get him. But, with the Ghostbusters reissues, those are perfect. So my point is, like, there's. It really depends on what you want to achieve or have, which would drive why you're buying certain things. So I keep both versions of Harmony Corruption because they are unique. I do the same thing with my reissues of Cardiac stuff, and currently I am doing that with these issues of The Thing. Because there's some interesting features on, like, picture-in-picture scene stuff that you don't get on the 4K. It's a simple little thing, but it exists. So you're going to get stuff that you want to keep 2 of, 3 of, whatever. And troop building is a whole other discussion. We'll probably have a whole show about that. But I just wanted to kind of talk to you a bit about how in all the things we collect, there are always going to be things trying to either replace or augment your collection, tweaking a couple little things, and the things you need to think about when you're considering getting that other thing. Because sometimes you're not getting what you think you're paying for. So you really have to take a close look at this stuff and make sure it's what's right for you and your wallet and your collection. I'm going to check in with chat here, then we're going to get going here pretty soon so that you guys can go check out the Paul Knapp Creations channel in a few minutes. Johnny Sorensen said if only a group of grind nerds could do a watch along on Maz. I mean, we could. We could. Take this thing out of the case and stick it up your nose. Ricky's calling out Cardiac song titles now. Hey, Hauser, you got a lot of nerve showing your face around here. Look who's talking. Consider that a divorce. Hey, man, I got 5 kids to feed. That was your wife? What a bitch. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Okay, we're doing Total Recall stuff now. Get him! Her! What you been feeding this thing? Blondes. Alright, no more Total Recall. Okay. Oh, it's in an hour. Okay, cool. Then Q&A is open. Discussion is open. Go nuts, guys. I'll be on for a few more minutes. Cheers, Kieran. Appreciate you, pal. We'll see you next time. Boba Hicks says, I love collecting stuff that's mostly the same but slightly different to stuff I already own. I know you're half joking, but I know you're not. Like, you're half serious. Like, I like stuff like that too. Like, I'm swimming in Spider-Man figures, which again, you guys probably remember there was a time when I was desperate for a 1/12 scale Spider-Man that was worth a shit that I wasn't gonna fear would fall apart. And also, Mego. I have Megos around here somewhere. Reissues of those. I have 0 issue with those because Megos are a great thing, and I like having them. I want to get a few more before the collecting's done, and but then you get into like actual reproductions and so forth. And I think there's a difference between a reissue and a reproduction, right? Because it's not like Hasbro is making reproduction accessories for retro collections. Like, those are like fan-made things and stuff you can get for 3D printers, shit like that. And I think those have their place. And I think reissues have their place. And as long as no one's trying to snow anybody else I don't see there's any issue with it. I've never had an issue with that stuff at all. Um, but that's for sure. I am glad that you love the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends set. I am also glad that I was able to drop ship it to you instead of having it shipped here and then you having to wait months for me to ship it out on my own. Be home in time for cornflakes. Smoke me a kippa. Be back for breakfast. So, but I hope that because we went outside of the toy thing, that it kind of makes you think a little bit differently about how you curate and regard your collections. Because, granted, I know that there's someone out there that owns a loose Marion Ravenwood figure from the original run. That probably bought a couple of these so they could play with them or put them on the display or whatever. I know there's people out there that do that kind of stuff. It's totally different. So, Stephen S. says, I do have a question. What was the controversy with the Marvel Legends Walgreens exclusive Moonstone? Was it a repaint or something? I honestly am not 100% certain. As far as I know, it was a repaint of something else. But then again, you could call most Marvel Legends repaints with augment, like they reuse the fire effects constantly. They use the same bucks constantly. The only things that are routinely getting updated are like heads, and the rest of it is paint. You know what I mean? So I don't know specifically what the issue was with that particular Moonstone. Uh but I can tell you it was probably a repaint. It's probably what it was. Boba Hicks says we're all just repro versions of our ancestors. It's a true story. It's a true story. Yes, yes, yes. Are you talking about the Halo Mantis that was 1/28 scale? Oh, Daniel Dorian, welcome back to the show, man. Yeah, this is pure. This is very temporary. This is just me taking all the packaged stuff out of the tubs, getting on the shelf, so I had something to display, and one toy line at a time. I'm gonna be filling the shelves up with all my loose and vintage stuff. So it's coming. It's coming along. It's good to see you. Appreciate you. So, does anyone have anything they want to display? Oh, the one that Will had in his most recent video. Gotcha. Oh, here you go. Ian Sweeney likes getting variants of a single character to make an interesting display. Currently working on a sorceress display using the Origins Grayskull as a background. There you go. And another example of this is that I have an original Snake Mountain over here. I just have to do a couple quick things to it to restore it. I have all the parts. But I'm getting an Origins Snake Mountain as soon as they come out, and that's going to be my main display one. I don't need it, and there's nothing significant display-wise that it needs to be, but I just love the idea of having it. On the other hand, I have an Origins Castle Grayskull over here still in the box. I don't really have a big desire to get a vintage one because they're so similar. But if I could get one super cheap, more or less complete, I might do it. It's kind of weird in that way. Largo says some people buy Hasbro repaints, some people dress up their chihuahuas in silly costumes. There's no accounting for taste. You're not wrong, sir. You're not wrong. Is that mainly modern by the looks of things? With what's here, yes. I don't have hardly any boxed vintage stuff. I mean, that Galactus that was a gift from Wilhelm is 90s, and everything else I can see is modern or a reissue of something classic. Because I don't collect box stuff. I don't. Obviously, there's the Crystal Castle back there and Snake Mountain right there, which are vintage. All my vintage stuff is loose and it's in there. So absolutely. But it will be there. It will be there. Jason Garcia, I know you have a collection of Godzilla variants throughout the years. And I feel like that's never going to stop. That will stop when you stop, if you get my drift. Which is fine. I love you to death, brother. I mean, you know. Wilhelm says, well, those reissues do allow me to kind of experience what it's like having those indie figures, unlike my ninja wannabe cousin, Seamus the Anus. Ha! Fair enough, fair enough. Gonna see Guns N' Roses tomorrow in Glasgow. Nice. Nice. But after visiting Galaxy's Edge, I maybe swapped to focus on lightsabers. Wow. Bjorn, if I fixed the Nylon helicopter, don't you think you'd be the first person I told? Hmm? Hmm? What's I tell you? Yeah, because when I start getting this stuff out and restoring vintage stuff and doing the thing, I'm making tons of content out of it, guys. So, no, I haven't done it yet. But it's when I do, we'll get there. We'll get there. Well, Hick says 22 Boba Fett's on display in my room, but I'm stopping at 23. It's gone far enough. I don't blame you. Is the 23rd one going to be the Return of the Jedi reissue Black Series one? Is that the 23rd one? I'm wondering. Ian Sweeney's urge is to army build is based on not being able to do so when young. Totally understand that. Reissues and retro releases are the only way I can afford to do so. I don't blame you. And yes, Stephen, there are also people who dress up like chihuahuas. You're right. Absolutely right. And I think that's part of why reissues make a lot of sense, right? So I can bitch and moan about, my band's re-releases not being up to the par that I would want. But the thing is, there are people that never got a chance to get them on their hands. And again, the vinyl releases are amazing for these. And these CDs were just like, well, if you want it on CD, here it is too. It's an afterthought. It was a bonus. They didn't have to do that. So I think they're awesome. I like the originals better for a lot of reasons, but because they were coinciding with vinyl releases, that makes more sense. And I give it, and I relax. I think they're fine. And just like with these, someone doesn't have access to this original Harmony Corruption. Like, they're easy to find for the most part, but I guarantee you that this one actually costs more than the other because it was such a limited print run. So whether it's a toy or a film or a piece of music that's on physical media, these reissues give people a chance to get something they never got before, right? And in terms of a repaint, maybe someone bought a Nemesis Prime in core class to get a Prime when they didn't think they'd be able to get him again. Well, now you can. But even that Volvo Optimus Prime, I'm getting the trailer. That's the exact same one from way back, and it's worth the money because I don't have to worry about it being used or anything else. I'm like, yay! So he says 23 Boba Fett. So it's very soon if you ever think it's not. Remind yourself of Toy/Secret Galaxy's Boba Fett. Fair enough. Fair enough. Don't fret the Fetts. And Stephen S. a good point. Boba was a clone. It's true. That's true. So, everyone's perspective is different. Remember, I've only been collecting toys in earnest for 2 years now as an adult. I just haven't. And there's certain things I want to go after. Superpowers, Indiana Jones stuff, Turtles. I mean, anything that I have that has a modern representation, I'm usually going after. But being able to put my hands on a carded Marion in this size, for me, that's the dream. I am willing to be less critical of the overall toy because the presentation is what I was looking for, like this. I look here, I look, closer at the figure, and it's not the same. But that's not why I bought her. I bought her because I never had her as a kid. And just to be able to have her on the shelf and be like, no, I have that. It's reclaiming childhood. Even if the effort to do so was really shitty. And I hate that. Danny Doran asks if the Super 7 Lemmy figure has been released yet. It has not. It's supposed to come out this fall. And I will know when it comes because I have one on pre-order. Gozatron says, reissues are a good thing. It allows new fans to get into the hobby without spending an arm and a leg. Precisely. Johnny's pocket lint collection is moving into troop building territory. Well, you'll be able to topple some small governments with enough pocket lint. Enough allergic reactions, that'll happen. Fall? That late? Yeah. That's what it said when I pre-ordered. It was due to arrive in the fall. I still haven't gotten the Cliff Burton one that I pre-ordered like 6 months earlier, so I don't know what they're doing over there at Super 7. Um, and it's funny to me that the only two Super 7 Ultimates figures that I'm getting are bass players. Like, are they doing all bass players or something that I don't know about? Kind of crazy, but yeah, it's not supposed to come out until the fall. So, with all that said, I hope this gave you something to think about and kind of change your perspective even a little bit on the different reissues, reproductions, variants of all these different kinds, and hopefully, those of you that maybe aren't being active in chat or you're watching it later. Some of you I know out there are very critical of people that collect this stuff or worry so much about the speculatory aspect of collecting. And I think y'all can calm down because this stuff makes people happy and it's fine. Now, that said, that doesn't mean you don't criticize something for being made poorly. This was made poorly, very poorly. You should still criticize it, just not the people that still buy it in spite of that. Okay? So with that said, I love you guys. I hope all your card backs are straight. I hope your grinds are merry and you're able to find anything you're looking for at any given time at a price you feel is reasonable. Especially if it's the full dynamic range reissue of Harmony Corruption, because that motherfucker is expensive. And no, Brandon, you rule. Good night, guys. Y'all take care of yourselves. We will see you next time. Don't forget to go over to Paul Knapp Creations in just under an hour to see Jim Largo and Wilhelm talk all kinds of cool stuff. You guys take care. We'll see you next week. I love you. I'm out.